Teagan is an independent, free spirit and exciting, and she just loves being out and doing things, and she's not a sit-around type of kid. Before she was diagnosed, she was playing soccer and she'd come home and take a nap. And this is not a kid who takes a nap. She'd wake up every so often and get sick at night, about 2 hours after she went to bed, and we just went, oh, sensitive tummy, and who knows what it is. So we went to the pediatrician, and that was probably November, and they ran some tests, and end of December, mid-December, they did some blood work, and we're trying to figure out maybe this was a food allergy thing, and maybe she was deficient or having issues with her gut or something, and all of her blood work came back normal. Nothing showed in her blood work. And so we did like this elimination diet to try and get her stomach feeling better, and it seemed to help with her stomach, but then the nighttime leg pain and the low-grade fever started. Nothing that you'd even call the doctor about, but every night. And she was waking up in tears because her legs hurt. So we called the doctor back, and they said, you need to come in for blood work. And I remember getting the call after we'd just gotten back from the lab saying, you need to come back to us now. And they don't usually call you back and say, come in early. And I think that's when we, without being told, we knew what the answer was going to be. So 2 weeks after her blood work was fine, they found blasts in her blood, and it was leukemia. And we checked into Sutter in Sacramento and started treatment right away. I don't think she had quite the preconceived idea that a lot of adults would have when you get this diagnosis of leukemia. She knew her blood was sick and that we were going to have to give her medicines that would make her blood healthy again.
It just blows my mind, and it's really neat. It's kind of emotional too, because to think that your little girl's going through all this, because it's a whole bunch of medicines, and it's hard to keep track of sometimes. Now it's one of her schedules, and it's just like clockwork. She takes it in stride like it's no big deal.
If I don't take them, I won't get better, and so I take my medicines, and I don't like the liquid, so I take pills, and it's easier that way to me.
And she was bummed when she had to miss school. We had been back in school for like a week after Christmas break when she was diagnosed, kind of in isolation for a good 6 months, not doing much. And so, I think she got a little lonely at times, and that's why Garrett's been such a big part of everything for her going through this. They're each other's best friends.
When usually she was doing stuff, build really, really cool Legos that I can never build, and get stuff on Minecraft that I cannot get very easily. In our backyard, we pretend it's our secret hideout, play tag, try to catch the chickens, ride our bike, and that's it, I think.
Probably 90-95% of the time, best friends, inseparable. And of course, like every other sibling, they have their moments, of too much roughhousing or whatever it may be, getting in trouble, but they're absolutely just really, truly best friends, and it's neat to see. We've always heard of Make-A-Wish, but we didn't know that much about it, obviously, until you go through something like this.
It was really neat because we weren't sure what to expect, but we wanted to make sure she got a chance to go to the actual wishing well. And when we got there, it was all smiles. It's just very welcoming for the families, and you can just see that instantly she lit up and was like, wow, this is real. I'm gonna get to make a wish. She pretty much from the get-go was like, I want a treehouse. She had, ever since we moved out here, been asking us to build her one. And
she wanted a treehouse, a pop star treehouse with a TV. Mom said no to the aquarium. And electronics for power. And a bunk bed. I think Teagan wanted those one of those rope step ladder things.
I'm not exactly a carpenter, so building a treehouse was probably a little bit beyond my scope, especially anything decent. So when this came along and she announced, she told us that's what she wanted, my wife and I just thought that's perfect.
It was exciting, and it was fun, and how it was my wish. Right when you walked in, if you looked up, stars, tons and tons and tons of them. And I remember the magic wishing wheel.
at the Make-A-Wish place, they included little brother. It's just so nice to see things like that too, because sometimes I think the siblings have a hard time because their lives are just as much shaken up as well, you know.
When I'm not like feeling good, he can't really play with me, and I just like hang out on my bed. And then like if I have a tree house, I can hang out with him in the tree house.
She was real adamant when she was talking about what she wanted and what she was thinking about with this tree house. Well, I want where we can spend the night out there, where Garrett and I can hang out.
I hope we get invited, yeah. And it's funny because at first, yeah, that was one of her rules, no grown-ups. And then we said, well, what about mom and dad? And she goes, well, yeah, I think you guys have to come in there, so we might be in the clear there, so.
And it's just been great to be able to watch her anticipate it and look forward to something when most of what she looks forward to is when is she getting her next chemo treatment. That not everything with this experience that she's gonna walk away from it is gonna be negative.
It's been a lot of fun to go through this, and yeah, she looks forward to it all the time, yeah. We all do.
It's interesting because I know that something will happen, but at the same point I don't know what is, so really exciting.